During his very slurry speech to the nation on Tuesday evening, Donald Trump lied for hours. I mean, just literally for a couple hours, he's up there. I can't even say ranting and raving, though, because this was one of the most low-energy productions that Trump has ever had. And at the very beginning of it, in hilarious form, he's introducing the U.S. men's hockey team because, you know, those idiots were willing to show up. And he blew out the microphone and apparently spent all of his energy at that point because there was nothing left. There was nothing left in the tank after he announced the hockey team was there. Microphone messes up. Eventually, of course, they do get it fixed. But the rest of the speech, this is what he's doing. He's got the bruises on his hands that we can clearly see, but it's not just the low energy. It's not the slurring, which got really bad, especially the part where he's like, you should be ashamed of yourselves for not standing up and applauding, he said to the Democrats. If you haven't seen that particular clip, by the way, Pac-Man actually has it on his Instagram right now. Please go watch it because it looks like he's having a stroke. But it was so bad. But the squinting is new. The squinting, like his body is failing. Now his eyes are going. And granted, he's 79 years old. A lot of people, once they hit that age, require some form of corrective lenses. But that's like the last part of him that was still mostly functional, and it's just gone. Another thing, because I don't want to talk about, again, the minutia of the speech. The lies have all been debunked. A lot of people did great jobs of that. So what about the reaction? The reaction, for the most part, was positive, which is not uncommon. In fact, it would be uncommon to have a negative reaction to your State of the Union, because going all the way back through Bill Clinton, which was when they started tracking people's immediate reactions to the State of the Union, it has always 100% of the time received a positive reaction from the audience, watching at home, giving the polls. So that's not surprising. What is surprising, however, is how weak the overall approval was. The pool of people watching the State of the Union was 13% more Republican than the general public. So when I tell you that, yes, it got a positive reaction, you also have to understand that the audience was heavily weighted Republican. So that explains it, right? But 66%, almost 66%, not quite, of speech watchers said that they had at least a somewhat positive reaction to Trump's speech, and that's a few points less than the reception to his address to Congress last year, and falls below the ratings for all of his first-term speeches in CNN polling. So this, even with a solid Republican audience, was still his worst received State of the Union ever. Yes, a majority approved, but that majority got smaller than it was even a year ago, smaller than it was all 4 times during his first term. So even his own Republican base is like, yeah, it was okay, but not great. And then the numbers get even worse for him. In a pre-speech survey of these same folks, a majority of viewers said that they most wanted to hear Trump talk about the economy and the cost of living. But nearly half of the audience, 45%, said that based on Trump's speech, he was focusing too little on the issue, with 53% saying he'd given it the right amount of focus. So not quite a majority, but almost a majority say we wanted to hear about the economy. He doesn't care. So even among the people, and this is where polls get really stupid to me, even among the people who are like, oh, I really liked his speech, Oh, well, did he talk about things that matter to you? Oh, God, no. No, he doesn't care about those things at all. Like, I'm screwed financially, economically. But it was a good speech. Good speech, right? That's what happened. That's what happened in the brains of these Republican viewers. They're like, well, I didn't get what I needed, didn't get what I wanted. He ain't going to address my issues. But man, can that man speak? I love it. I love the slurring. I love them bruises on his hands. Oh boy, I do sure love me a good man squinting trying to read. Yeah, so take it with a grain of salt when you see these polls of people like, hey, I really liked his speech. Fox News fawning over it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. goes out in the media and says, the Democrats, the Democrats who didn't applaud should be ashamed of themselves. Forgetting that just 2 years ago, you were one of those people. And for your entire life prior to that, you were one of those people. But, you know, whatever gets you ahead in life, right? You fucking chameleon. But anyway, that's what it was. 2 hours of lies, 2 hours of slurring, questionable bruises, weird squinting, leaning a little heavy on the lectern because he can't stand up for long periods of time. But the entire thing, to sum it up, was we got to watch, those of you who watched it, a man sundowning in real time. Because that is exactly what it looks like. Scotty Music says, it's a funny observation that dictators often hold the longest speeches with the least amount of actual and factual content. Very well said. And I do want to point out another comment I saw that I think really succinctly summed up the speech, and it actually came from Sam Cedar, when he said it was just very boring. And that's what it was. It was just boring. You know, I think a lot of us had almost kind of hoped we would get the combative, angry, like insulting Trump, you know, to kind of give us a little bit of like, man, what a crazy asshat. But we didn't even get that. We got the sundowning. Paula Trigg says, I was asleep by 9:30. I'd rather watch the 9 Lives of Christmas on Hallmark on a 24-hour loop than watch the State of the Union. They're talking about the stock market. We're worried about the supermarket. Oh, that's a good line. It's a really good line. I'll put that in the mental library there and pull it out in future. I love that. Thank you. I watched Idiocracy and Sicko instead of Trump. Definitely much better choices. Gargoyle Dragon says, I had to get 2 fillings yesterday, one unexpectedly, and that was less pain than the state of the ruin. He looked like he was unaliving or pooping all night. He really just needs to sleep. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.